Well, we got the Explorer running. There's a story to that. I'll kind of explain that here at the end. Today's goal is to get this thing clean. We've got to get it cleaned off. This thing is gross, and I have 2 little helpers with me. Helper number 1, helper number 2, and we're gonna have some fun. It is about 98 degrees. It is hot, it's soupy, it's humid. Perfect day to wash a car. Let's get this thing going. Okay, moment of truth. Woohoo! Now I fully expect this thing to idle rough. Yes, it needs an oil change, needs one bad. Probably should have done that before we started it up, but I'm on 125 acres here and I got to get it to where we can work on it. I'm gonna let it run for a minute, let the fluids kind of do their thing, lubricate, and then we'll see if it gets into gear, because the engine runs, it actually sounds great. It sounds amazing. All right, so I put some damp rid in here to kind of get rid of any moisture in here. You can see there's definitely moisture. And now the question is going to be, does the transmission work?
It moves.
The Explorer lives. It's running and it sounds good. I'm not trying to jinx us here because we've done that before. Hey friends, Joe the Farmer here. Got my son Clay with me, and we have a story for these things. In the intro of the video, you saw the Explorer runs. We got it started. We're gonna tell a story about how that happened here at the end. But right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pressure washer going, and I think we're gonna be able to get this thing really shined up. The engine started right up. The starter sounded strong. The battery did not die after 4 days of being in the field, so I think we may have figured that thing out too. I think. We may not have, but I hope, we'll put it that way. What we're gonna use to clean today is, very first thing, Super Clean reached out to us. You've seen them on other videos on social media and on YouTube. They do a great job of getting themselves out there and putting their product in the hands of content creators. Ben from Super Clean was incredibly kind, sent me an email, and he's like, hey, I see you have some machines. I think our product may be able to help you out. And my exact response to Ben was, man, I don't know if I should be flattered or like offended or like embarrassed that my machines are that dirty that a cleaning company's reaching out to us. He was super kind, very gracious. He's like, no, just let us send this out there, no strings attached, and you know, you guys try it out. Did a little research. I think Super Clean's probably gonna be the right product for the job. It's a degreaser, but I also need to dilute it because it's incredibly powerful. This stuff's like commercial quality powerful, and there's a clear coat on this Explorer, and even though it looks terrible right now, I'm pretty optimistic that through bringing this thing back and pressure washing, get all that gunk off, using the degreaser to kind of get in some of those tough areas, then the next step will be change the oil in it, and then the next step after that, if we want to, is going to be really kind of detail it. I think it's going to be fun to detail it just because how bad it is and how far back can we bring it. Fun story about me when I was in college, I used to detail cars for money. You know, I'd charge somebody 75, 80 bucks to detail a car. They'd give you some cash, and that was a lot of money in college. I do have some experience doing this, but the story for how we got it running, I have less experience with that, and I'm not ashamed to say that sometimes you have to get some help. So anyway, Clay has these little bottles. You want to hold those up? Bought these on Amazon, and we're going to use one of these to dilute some of the Super Clean. I'm probably going to go with like a 6-to-1, 7-to-1 ratio. You could go as you could probably go 3-to-1, but spraying this directly on this car is not going to be smart. I'm not going to do that. Diluting this down, I'd rather start a little weaker and work myself up if we need to. I think a lot of this is going to be pretty impressive how we bring it back. Let's get into the pressure washing. Thank you all for coming along with us for this journey. This is the 3rd video, and on the left-hand side there, if you want to subscribe and come along with us, we'd love to have you. If you enjoy watching this, hit the thumbs up. That helps us out here on YouTube, and we're going to get to work. Okay, obviously I'm not expecting this to turn out to be a new car. One thing I'm realizing is that we're working off of well water, which well water is going to have more minerals in it. This is a black car. You kind of see where that's going to go, but really happy with the way this stuff is coming off. Just to kind of rehash, if you haven't seen the other videos, this stuff is baked on. What I'm doing is I'm basically wetting it a little bit. I'm putting some super clean on there, again diluted about 6:1. It's probably weaker than I should put on here, but I want to make sure that I'm not damaging the clear coat on here, which it's pretty damaged already. But the next step here in detailing this would be clean it off, then hit it with like a clay bar solution and get all the oxidation out and then wax it. But to get this Explorer from looking like this nasty kind of, looks like it's been under a lake, to that, that's pretty awesome. There's a lot of oxidation here on the hood. There's definitely a lot of oxidation in there, but a clay bar should help that a lot, and waxing it should help it a lot. So we'll just see. But I've done half the car. That half is essentially done. We'll hit that with sponges next and just regular soap, and then this just has to get more of this gunk off, and the water is already doing a good job. It's just nasty. You know, as I said in the first video, if it's mechanically sound and it works well, then this is all worth the effort, 100%. Because I'll have to do this twice a year. Like most of the UTVs, I wash them twice a year. The tractor I'll wash twice a year, you know, just to make sure that the finish stays up with its age. I mean, they're built for work. We're going to work this thing, so I need to make sure that it's sound, but I also need to make sure that, you know, it's not grossing me out to be in it. So the next step will be this interior. That will be another video. I'm gonna get this other side, and then I'll get the kids, and we're gonna start just washing this thing down with car wash soap. Okay, so I've been at this for about probably 2.5 hours. The Explorer is starting to come out a little bit cleaner. It still needs the clay bar. I don't have the clay with me, so I'll do that another day. Right now I'm just cleaning out the door jambs and everything. You saw me spray out the front in the engine. I just, you know, basically put trash bags over the alternator, distributor, things like that that have electrical, you know, components to them. And I also unhooked the battery before I sprayed it with water. The hood's been up. That's all completely dried. I hit it with my blower. You know, I didn't film that because I didn't think you'd care to watch that. That just gets any kind of setting water in any of those little wells where spark plugs are and keeps rust from happening. The engine looks a lot cleaner. You know, I'm not looking for a detail here. I'm not looking for perfection. What I am looking for though is getting a lot of that, you know, that dry debris, because that stuff can catch fire when the engine gets hot. We don't want that. Found a brown recluse nest, which I'll put a video of that in here, let y'all see what that looks like. Kind of gross. They were all dead. You know, just to give you an idea how dirty these door jambs are. You know, I've gone through them once just to basically get most of the dirt and debris off. I think the reason why there's some mold inside of here is that these seals, they had so much dirt on them that they weren't sealing anymore. So I think water's getting in through those seals, just being kind of crusty. And now, you know, just by cleaning them off, they're, you know, they're supple again, and you can kind of get around them, but you can still see smeared dirt and everything. That's not, you know, today's not about that. This is what the door jamb dirt looks like. Pretty gross stuff. Yeah, this thing is, it doesn't have a ton of hours. I'm sitting here thinking about tractors, but it doesn't have a ton of miles on it. I think it has 112,000 miles. Hopefully, you know, we're gonna get this thing back up to where it runs well, and you know, now that I have the first kind of clean done, I'll feel a lot better about just kind of driving it and getting the fuel system cleared out from the dirty fuel that was in there. There wasn't much. It's actually running perfectly fine. Again, I need to crawl under this thing and then do an oil change. So I'm going to keep wiping out these door jambs, and I'll go ahead and put a little quick video or something like that in there to let you know what it looks like at the end of the day. And we'll follow up with another video where we're doing more of a deep clean, where I'll actually get the clay bar, really clean that clear coat, and then we'll put some wax on it. This is a lot of time to spend on a vehicle like this. It's going to be a farm vehicle, but A, it's kind of fun to do, and B, it really does kind of show how you can bring one of these cars back to life. It's just a lot of fun to do stuff like this. So appreciate y'all watching this video. Thank you for coming along. Go ahead and subscribe so you can see what this exploder, whatever we want to call this. I need a name for this thing. So if you want to help me out with that, that'd be great. Betsy wants to call it Dora, because Dora the Explorer. Maybe we could come up with something cooler than that, but maybe it's gonna be Doro. I did tell you that I would give you the story of how I got this thing up and running. Whoa, she scared me. But anyway, so there's a guy here in town that does mobile auto repair, and I messed with it for a while, and I couldn't get the starter to turn over. I thought the starter was bad. And rather than me climbing under this thing, I'm great with carburetors and with engines that don't have a lot of electronics on them. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. I called him. He said 110 bucks, I'll replace the starter. I had the starter. I went and bought one. He comes out within like 2 hours. He said two things. He said, well, the starter's fine, so you can return that. So that's great. That's, I had a starter and an alternator for it just in case. So I'll return those. That's 330 bucks. For $150, he told me that he replaced the cable going from the starter to the engine because that was corroded really, really bad. Just must have sat outside. And the second thing is, he said that he readjusted the park. These Explorers are famous, and Ford Rangers and everything else are famous for not going fully in park when you engage the the parking lever thing. So that may have been the parasitic drain. By it not going fully in park, the vehicle thinks it's still on, so it's just running through all the systems. I hope. We'll see. But if that's the case, then score. We've done great. Anyway, I'm gonna get going, and we will see you on the next video. Betsy, you want to lead us out?
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. We out!